Today, I'm going to talk to you about 3 retirement numbers that I never tell my clients about. For years, people have relied on these popular benchmarks to guide their retirement planning. However, as times have changed and the financial landscape has shifted, these numbers are becoming increasingly outdated. After working with countless retirees, I've seen firsthand how over-reliance on these numbers can derail retirement plans. That's exactly why I'm making this video for you today, to reveal what these 3 retirement killers are, explain how harmful they can be, and share better strategies for you so you can start using the money that you've saved right away. Let me walk you through these 3 strategies right now very quickly. The first one that we're going to talk about is the 4% rule. The 4% rule essentially uses 4% as a guideline for the amount of money that you can distribute from your retirement account every year. But in the article that I'm going to share with you today, there's a statistic that's pretty shocking. Many variables go into this 4% rule. And in fact, the number that you can take out, depending on your age, the amount of income that you're going to need, and how long you want the income to last, in addition to the risk that you're willing to take on, that number can vary anywhere from 4.2% to 10%. So that's a wide variance. The second thing that we need to talk about that a lot of people need to disregard is that you have to have $1 million saved for retirement. And again, this doesn't take into account the risk that you have, your retirement timeline. It doesn't take into account pension, Social Security, or taxes. So disregard the $1 million rule. In addition to that, I want to challenge today, and I want you to think about this, disregard 65 as the retirement age. That's been around forever, and for many of my clients that I work with, that's not a rule that we have to stick to. Many people retire at 60, many people retire at 70. Many people work part-time their entire life because they love it so much. And what I want you to think about, and what I tell all of my clients is, I never want you to work a day longer than you have to. You may want to, and that's a whole different story. So let's dig into these 3 numbers a little bit more right now. First off, more specifically, what's the problem with these numbers? Let's start again with the 4% rule. A 4% rule assumes that historical markets are going to always repeat themselves year after year after year. Well, we know that the market doesn't go up an average of 6 or 8 or 10% every year. There's higher numbers and there's lower numbers. And really sticking to that 4% rule can be disastrous for you if you retire into a down market. It also ignores many personal factors that many of my clients go through, such as spending variability, meaning that you're going to spend more in your earlier years of retirement than your later years of retirement. Again, we call those the go-go years, the slow-go years, and the no-go years. More commonly with a lot of our clients, we planned on higher leisure spending early in retirement and less leisure spending later in retirement. It also ignores market volatility, like I already said. And it assumes that, hey, you're going to start at 4% distributions from your $1 million portfolio, for example. So you're going to start at 40 grand, and then you're just going to increase that by 3% every year to keep up with inflation. That's not how the typical retiree spending works. That's another reason why I don't like that 4% rule. The other one that is a common misconception out there is I have to have $1 million saved for retirement. Well, again, the $1 million thing, it doesn't account for what your Social Security benefit is. It doesn't account for what your pension is. It doesn't account what your lifestyle needs are going to be, what other savings that you have. It takes none of that into account. It doesn't take into account the amount of risk that you take on. So for some people that want to live a crazy retirement, traveling the world, having multiple homes, $1 million might not be enough. But if you have a really nice pension, a really nice Social Security benefit, and you just want to kind of take it easy in retirement, traveling maybe 1 or 2 times a year, maybe $1 million is plenty. Everybody's situation is different. The age 65 thing is what I want to address next. So it's just a common thing out there that people think they have to wait till they retire at age 65. Well, hey, if you've done an awesome job at savings and you have the ability to maybe work part-time or not work at all when you're 60 or 55, if you don't want to, you don't have to work until age 65. On the other hand, if you get all of your social interactions from work and that's all that you know, quitting at age 65 could cause you to be really lonely, like some of our clients have experienced. So maybe you work till you're 70 or maybe 75, or just do part-time work once you're 65. There's many variables that go into that decision other than just deciding to quit cold turkey at age 65. So I want to dig in now into why these beliefs that are commonly held out in the general populace can be so dangerous. The 4% rule, I want to go again with that one first, because People think that market downturns maybe only happen for a month or two at a time. So they're thinking, hey, I'm going to take out 4% and it's only going to be able to support me for, if that market downturn happens, it's only going to happen for 1 or 2 months. Well, that's not the case. Market downturns can last for months, if not years. That's why in my book that I wrote, The Red Zone Retirement Plan, I give you a structure to the retirement spending that you should be doing. In addition to that, I walk you through a cash buffer strategy that we use for a lot of our clients in retirement as well. Drop me a message if you want a copy of that book. People think that, hey, I don't need any help on retirement planning. I'm going to throw it all in my 60-40 portfolio and I'm going to do the 4% rule. If that's what you want to do, that's okay. You can do that. But there are better options out there for you to look at. And people think that, hey, that 4% rule is going to work great for me because my expenses are always going to stay fixed. It doesn't work that way. Typically, people spend more in retirement than later in retirement, and that's not an ideal strategy. One size fits all from a retirement planning perspective does not work, and I don't want you to get caught in that trap. And then on to the $1 million goal. People really fixate on the amount that they have saved for retirement. And what I want you to think about is it's not about $1 million, it's about the income that your savings and your investments is going to generate you in retirement. So don't think about this as I need to have $1 million or $10 million saved for retirement. Think about it as what income do I need to sustain my lifestyle in retirement, and what amount of money in different locations, different types of portfolios, different types of accounts, what type of income can that generate for me? So get away from the $1 million thinking and get into how much income do I need in retirement. It'll drastically shift how you think about for retirement. And then in addition to that, lastly, I love part-time work for people. I think far too many people quit cold turkey from work. If you can work part-time, please think about that as an option for your future retirement. So as you can see, believing this generic numbers, it can really cause significant problems for a lot of our clients and a lot of people that don't work with us. Many people mistakenly believe that general advice found online or in popular trends will be enough to get them through retirement. Rules of thumb are good, but they're not great. The truth is, retirement planning is far more complex than that. There are countless factors to consider, and general information can only take you so far. That's why it's crucial to understand exactly where you stand and develop a personalized guideline and structure to help you achieve your goals. To help you get a comprehensive understanding of what this looks like, I've created a free quiz for you. It's designed to measure your retirement health. After you do the quiz in the link below, I'll also send you a complimentary video that explains the results of what you told us. And I'm going to highlight areas that need your attention, and I'm going to give you a customized plan to help you secure and bulletproof your retirement. To get started, just click the link in the description below, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the video that I'm going to create for you. So now let's get back to the video. What do these things lead to? Well, you know what? If you're using the 4% rule and a market downturns last 6, 12, 18 months, you can possibly go broke in retirement. In addition to that, if you follow that rule and you're only planning for maybe 10, 15, 20 years worth of spending, maybe you're not spending enough money. Maybe your lifestyle's not what it could be in retirement, and it causes you to have not the ideal retirement that you've envisioned. Missing opportunities using this 4% rule can cause you to drastically adjust the spending that you're going to use in retirement. And then the $1 million mark, that is the same exact thing. It can cause people a lot of stress when they're having to stress about having $1 million saved. Instead of that, focus on income. It'll drastically change how you think about your future. And if you're trying to accumulate that $1 million, it'll cause you maybe some financial bad decisions because you're worried about getting this crazy return to get to $1 million. And again, age 65, that's just a number. Everybody's situation is different. Everybody's situation is unique. I would encourage you to think about that part-time work that I've talked about. So let me talk to you now about retirement planning is so individualized and personalized, why that is, and how you can align some of the things that I've talked about in this video into the Red Zone retirement plan strategy that I talk about so much that can be found in my book. You see, retirement goals is really the first thing you need to talk about. And that is drastically different from person to person to person. Some people want to work longer. Some people want to plan to live longer. Other people are okay with a normal retirement. Some people want a crazy retirement. Some people want to work the rest of their life. There is not a one-size-fits-all retirement planning strategy that everybody's going to use. That's why these three numbers need to be ignored by you planning for your retirement. Instead, you should develop a plan for sustainable income to meet the goals that you have created for your individual retirement. That's why in our visions and value process that we go through with all of our clients, we help you not only visualize, but put a dollar amount behind the goals that you have for your retirement. It doesn't have to be at 65. It should be strategically planned for you based upon your lifestyle. Retirement's not about following some specific benchmark. It's about designing a strategy that matches your dreams, your priority, and your resources. That's what a comprehensive retirement planning strategy should have, and that's what we do for our clients. In addition to that, it needs to be updated annually, if not sooner, because life changes, the markets fluctuate, and your goals are going to change over time. Because of those things, you have to tweak the plan with your tweaked goals. Flexibility is essential. So as you can see, strictly following these three numbers can cause a variety of issues for your retirement plan. So to help you adjust your plan and your personal needs, I want to share a story with you of how I helped a client drastically reconstruct their retirement plan for retirement success through our Red Zone retirement planning process. I'm going to talk to you about a client who I just worked with last year. He was 57 and he had about 600 grand in savings. So again, he was thinking that, hey, I need to have this $1 million mark saved for retirement. And he was really stressing about how much he was saving and the returns on his portfolio. But he really didn't have any set plan. And he was just kind of looking at general stuff on the internet, such as, hey, I need to have $1 million saved and I can only take out 4%. He did our quiz that I referenced below. You can check it out in the questionnaire below. He did our quiz. That's how he got started with us. He wanted to retire at age 65, but he was really stressed that, hey, I'm not going to have enough. He was confused about his healthcare needs, and he was really concerned about inflation, Medicare, and Social Security. So needless to say, he was pretty stressed and anxious about his retirement. It was coming up in less than 10 years, and he was not sure if he was ready. So what did we do? He did the questionnaire, the information got back to us, and we had a couple fact-finding calls with him. We had a couple discovery calls with him, and here's what we had found. He really didn't want to decrease his lifestyle when he got to retirement. He wanted to live life to his fullest while he still could while he was young. Again, we call those the go-go years. And he was really concerned about working longer than he had to and decreased health because he saw the same thing happen to his dad. His dad worked until his 70s and then his health declined and he was forced to retire and he really didn't get to enjoy retirement. In addition to that, he was really stressed about that $1 million savings number. He wanted to have a conservative portfolio when he retired to not have any market fluctuations cause him to live less of a lifestyle. And he really wanted to tamp down that anxiety and fear that he had with retirement. In addition to that, once we were working with him, we found out that everything was pre-tax. And if he didn't change the way he was saving and investing right now, he might have a tax issue at retirement time. So what did we do? Well, what we do is we got to know our client first. We had several meetings with him, really got to know his life story. I always tell clients that personal finance is way more personal than it is finance. So we really have to take time to get to know our clients, know your biggest goals and your deepest fears so that we can structure a plan that fits those things. So through our Red Zone retirement planning process, I created an income stream that increased for him the first 12 years of retirement because he was going to be more active in those years. And then we put a comprehensive nursing home plan in place that if he had a nursing home stay in his later years, that he was still able to live life on his own terms. He wasn't destitute and impoverished, depending on Medicaid for his health care. And what we also did was we restructured how he was going to save money up until the age of 65 because we needed to fund some of these post-tax accounts to get tax-free income for him in retirement. In addition to that, we restructured his healthcare cost. We put a Social Security strategy in place. And on top of that, we were able to save him some money by switching to a higher deductible health plan, doing HSA contributions that were going to be used tax-free at retirement time to pay his Medicare premiums. In addition to that, we set up annual reviews for him to really take a good look at his tax situation to make sure that we were still on the right path. And of course, we did regular check-ins with him to see if life was going to change at all. And so what happened? So after these conversations, after our meetings, what happened to this 57-year-old client? We took him from anxiety to having a sense of ease and purpose for the next working career that he was going to have over the next 5 to 7 years. We put him in a spot to have financial success. So when he first came to us, he had about a 74% confidence score according to our retirement planning software. we took him to a 92% score within 12 months of working with him. So that's not perfect, but that is a heck of a lot better than where he was. So here's a list of everything that we did for him. We gave him more income in retirement than he was thinking he was going to have. We saved him a large amount on taxes due to the Roth strategies that we were implementing over the next 5 to 7 years. In addition to that, we showed him how he could possibly retire a year or two earlier by incorporating part-time work until he was 70. And most importantly, we enabled him to envision his future retirement and dream about the life of possibilities that he could have once he was fully retired. I was also able to share with him about how emotionally it's a big change going from working and retired from saving to spending. And we helped him prep for that so he was ready to spend the money that he worked so hard to save. After we were done, you could literally see it in his face that he was so relieved that we put a strategy and a plan in place. He went from feeling anxious and worried to really looking forward to the future because he knows there was a plan in place. He wasn't fearful of the unknown, and he finally had that clear vision of his future retirement. He felt a lot better having his retirement life taken care of rather than just guessing about what it could possibly be. We bulletproofed his retirement, and we were able to help our client feel financially free. So now that you understand why I never tell my clients about those 3 retirement numbers that I've talked about, the 4% rule, the $1 million, and the retirement at age 65. I never tell them about those things because it can drastically change from individual to individual. The real issue lies in the fact that many people don't know how much money they need to withdraw. They don't know how much they need to have saved, and they don't know the timeline on when they need to retire. Following generic advice can leave you stressed and having an unsecure financial future. The only way to accurately answer these questions is by assessing your retirement readiness based upon your unique situation. It's your personal situation. To help you clear up these uncertainties, I've put together a free questionnaire, and it's designed to measure your retirement readiness. Along with the questionnaire, you'll receive a complimentary video from me where I break down the data and I show you what's holding you back from living your best financial life. And on top of that, I give you actual actionable advice on how you can improve your retirement readiness score, like from a 74 to a 92, like we did for this client example that I gave you today. If you want to get started, just click the link below, fill out the questionnaire, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. This podcast is for educational purposes only and may include references to concepts that have legal and/or tax implications. It's not to be construed as legal or tax advice. Such information or opinions is subject to change without notice and is not intended to use as an offer or solicitation with respect to the purchase or sale of any security, insurance products, or offer of individual investment advice. Any strategies discussed may not be suitable for everyone. Mutual of Omaha Investor Services, Inc. does not provide legal or tax advice. Please consult with your appropriate professional regarding your personal situation prior to making any financial decisions. Securities and advisory services offered through Mutual of Omaha Investor Services, Inc., member FINRA SIPC. Riser Insurance is not affiliated with Mutual of Omaha Investor Services. Investing involves risk, including the possible loss of principal. Past performance does not guarantee future results. Diversification does not guarantee a profit or protection lost against loss in a declining market. Purchase of life insurance is subject to meeting underwriting requirements. There is no guarantee of an individual will be insured. Annuities are long-term investments designed for retirement purposes. Withdrawals of taxable amounts are subject to income tax, and if taken prior to 59.5, a 10% federal penalty tax may apply. Guarantees are backed by the claims paying ability of the issuer and are subject to their terms and conditions.